The bell rang at 3:47 p.m. Lily Voss zipped up her backpack, slung it over one shoulder, and walked out of the school the way she always did, quietly, efficiently, without looking at anyone long enough to make them uncomfortable. She had learned, over 14 months on Vareth Station, that the aliens liked it when humans kept their eyes low. They found prolonged eye contact threatening. Lily found that hilarious, but she kept the laugh behind her teeth. The corridor outside Unified Sciences Academy was wide and humming with foot traffic. Verthani students with their iridescent crests, Malaki juveniles bouncing on 6 legs, a few Dreth scholars moving slowly in their moisture suits. Nobody paid attention to the human girl. That was fine. That was exactly how Lily preferred it. She took the outer walkway toward the transit hub, earbuds in, music off. She never actually played music. She just didn't want anyone talking to her. The playlist was a decoy. The silence was armor. She had almost reached the junction when John's voice crackled into her earpiece. "Hey, don't look around. There are 3 of them following you. Have been since the East Gate." John was her handler, technically a cultural exchange coordinator, which was a title that meant absolutely nothing but sounded important enough that nobody questioned why a 26-year-old human was stationed near a school. In reality, John worked for the same quiet office Lily did, the one without a name on the door, the one that kept tabs on threats to the 43 humans currently living aboard Vareth Station. "I know," Lily said quietly, lips barely moving. "I clocked them at the gate. Drashani bounty hunters. The one on the left has a pulse sling under his coat. You can see the charge indicator light through the fabric if you know what to look for." A pause. "How do you know what a Drashani pulse sling charge indicator looks like?" I read. "Lily, I've got it, John." She turned left instead of right, away from the transit hub, toward the maintenance district. Fewer cameras there. Fewer witnesses. The Drashani followed, because of course they did. Bounty hunters didn't get paid for restraint. They got paid for delivery, and someone had decided that a human teenager was worth collecting. She wondered, briefly, who had put the contract out. She'd think about that later. Right now, she had 3 problems to solve. The maintenance district smelled like coolant and recycled atmosphere. Lily walked until she found the alley she had mentally flagged 3 weeks ago. She made a habit of flagging alleys, exits, structural weaknesses, anything useful. Her father called it paranoia. Her mother called it practical. Both of them had grown up on Earth, which meant both of them were right. Earth was a death world. Everyone in the galaxy knew it. A planet of crushing gravity, wild temperature swings, apex predators on every continent, microbes that evolved faster than medicine, and 7 billion humans who had somehow not only survived but thrived through all of it. Other species got nervous around humans without always knowing why. Some deep, ancient instinct in them recognized the specific body language of a creature that had been hunted and had learned, generation by generation, to become something far more dangerous than its hunters. Lily had grown up in rural Montana. She had been tracking deer since she was 6. She stopped in the alley, set her backpack down against the wall, and turned around. The 3 Drashani stepped in after her. They were large, nearly 2 meters, quadrupedal lower bodies with powerful haunches, bipedal upper torsos, forearms. Apex predators on their own homeworld, which was why the galaxy employed them as hunters. The one in front smiled with too many teeth. "Human female. Contract acquisition. Come quietly, and you won't be damaged." Lily tilted her head. "Which bounty office issued the contract? I want to know who to bill for my dry cleaning." They exchanged a look. Humans, in their experience, either screamed or begged. This one was talking. The lead hunter raised his pulse sling. Lily was already moving. Montana had taught her distance and patience. Earth's gravity had given her bones and muscles that operated at roughly 1.3 times the efficiency of most humanoid species evolved in lower G environments. 14 months on the station had made her fast in a different way. She had learned the specific geometry of alien bodies, where their joints bent, where they didn't, the quarter-second lag in Drashani neural response time that most species never noticed because most species weren't timing it. She closed the distance before the pulse sling finished cycling. The fight was not elegant. It wasn't supposed to be. Elegant was for species that had the luxury of fighting clean. Lily fought the way everything from Earth fought, with total commitment, maximum efficiency, and absolutely no concern for the feelings of the thing trying to kill her. She used the pulse sling against its owner, used the wall, used the angle of the second hunter's charge to redirect him into the third. It was over in 40 seconds. She stood breathing in the quiet alley, 3 unconscious Drashani hunters arranged around her like a question no one had asked yet. Status. John's voice tight. Contained, she said. She was already pulling zip ties from her backpack. Human zip ties, rated for 800 pounds of tensile strength, purchased from an earth import shop 6 months ago for exactly this kind of situation. None of them are dead. Don't worry. I wasn't worried about them. Liar. She secured all 3 efficiently, then pulled a small device from her bag. A Drashani data scrambler. Ironically, she had taken it off a bounty hunter 2 months ago and repurposed it. She swept the alley for recording signals, found 2 hidden tags the hunters had been wearing that transmitted location data, and disabled both. Then she found the alley's single maintenance camera, which was already running on a 12-second loop due to a firmware glitch she had introduced to the station's maintenance network last month, because she had been in this alley before and had decided she might need the privacy. She had not told John about that. John, I need a quiet transport and a holding cell. Medium security. And I need someone to trace this contract. Someone placed it. And I want the chain before these 3 wake up and start talking. A longer pause this time. You're 16 years old. I'm aware. You should be studying for your xenochemistry exam. I am studying. She glanced at the hunters. This is applied xenobiology. She heard him exhale. The long, slow exhale of a man recalibrating his entire understanding of a situation. She was familiar with that exhale. She'd caused it before. Transport in 10 minutes, he said finally. Back in trance, maintenance dock 7. And Lily? Yeah. Next time, tell me you've pre-rigged the camera loops. Where's the fun in that? She ended the call, crouched down, and went through the hunter's pockets with methodical calm, cataloging everything she found. Credit chips, a secondary comm device, a folded contract document with a seal she didn't recognize. She photographed it carefully and tucked it away. Someone had paid good money to acquire 1 human teenager. That meant someone thought 1 human teenager was worth the cost. Lily stood up, shouldered her backpack, and looked at the 3 large, unconscious alien hunters zip-tied in a back alley. She thought about her xenochemistry exam. She thought about Montana. She thought about her mother saying practical and her father saying paranoid, and both of them, somehow, being correct about the same thing. Then she thought about whoever had signed that contract. They had sent 3 hunters. She was starting to think they hadn't done their research. The transport came at exactly 10 minutes. She loaded the hunters herself, because John arrived looking like a man who had just been reminded, again, that he was coordinating a human and humans. Even small teenage ones who liked books and quiet corridors and faked music playlists were not, had never been, and would never fully be the harmless soft creatures the rest of the galaxy assumed them to be. The alley, when she left it, was spotless. No blood, no signs of struggle, no evidence that anything had happened here at all. By the time the station's evening cycle began, 3 bounty hunters were in a quiet holding cell. A contract chain was being traced by people paid to be discreet, and Lily Voss was at her desk in her small station apartment, notes open, studying xenochemistry. She got a perfect score on the exam the next morning. Nobody was surprised, except the Verthani instructor, who had never quite understood why the human girl always seemed so calm, like she had already survived the hardest part of the day before she ever walked through the classroom door. She had. She just didn't mention it. Somewhere in the galaxy, whoever had signed that contract was about to receive a very polite, very professional message informing them that their acquisition attempt had failed. They would not yet understand what that meant. They would.